This week, millions of families will be gathering for the holidays, and that means it's time for you to brush up on your orange peeling skills. Hello everyone, Miss Bitcoin here. Christmas is nearly here, and I know that a lot of Bitcoiners will be spending time with loved ones very soon. At the moment, Bitcoin's price has been dipping. When the price is up, it's usually an easy conversation. Look how much better my Bitcoin is doing than your stocks. But that probably isn't the winning argument this year, unfortunately. Instead, here are 3 ways of framing Bitcoin that perhaps you haven't thought of before. First, focus on the fundamentals. In reality, nothing has changed. Bitcoin is still operating just as intended. Every 10 minutes, a new block is mined. Self-custody still works and provides an escape hatch. Hash rate is still near all-time highs. Builders keep building and adoption keeps growing. Tick-tock, next block. And similarly, on the macro front, nothing has changed. US federal debt is at all-time highs and there is no viable way to repay it except to print more money. CBDCs are on the horizon. Insane taxes are being rolled out globally and digital IDs are set to go mainstream. When you look at the world through this lens, that none of the brokenness of our system has been fixed and that it's likely to get worse, it becomes obvious we need a solution. Bitcoin is the unshakable answer to the questions many people ask themselves. How do I get or stay ahead? How can I avoid the inflation that is crushing everyone around me? How do I protect my family in a worst case scenario? So when you're orange peeling, find common ground and go back to the basics. Fundamentals first. Second, everyone senses that something is off. They work harder and feel like they're falling further behind. How can that be? Well, it turns out there is a very simple answer to that question. In short, anyone operating on a fiat standard is an economic slave. We sometimes equate inflation with theft, but that's not exactly what is happening. The government or central bank isn't taking your money. Instead, they are coercively extracting your productive energy from you. And that means you're a slave. Modern economic slavery might not carry with it the brutal physical conditions that come to mind for most when they think about slavery, but the fundamentals are identical. Someone else is taking the energy you put into providing value in the world and coercively taking it from you. Nobody wants to think of themselves as a slave, but the logic is hard to argue with. And finally, if you can't win them over on price action this year, you can win them over on self-sovereignty. Ask them what would happen if their bank shut down their account, or how they will send money on a holiday or the weekend, or what would happen if there was a run on their bank. People will rather quickly realize that in fiat, your wealth isn't really theirs. The banks don't have your money, and even if they did, you have to get their permission to do anything with it. And only during certain hours of the day, and as long as it's not the weekend. Is that really the way free people should live? Beholden to the availability and permission of a few people working at the bank? We sure don't think so. How you approach bringing up these topics with others depends on how they are, what they know, and how open-minded they are to begin with. If someone doesn't want to learn, no amount of talking at them will help. But if they're open-minded, some of this new approach might be just what you need to get them thinking about the world in new terms. So, we hope your holiday season is full of fun with friends and family. But don't forget, the greatest gift you can give is gently pushing them toward a life of critical thinking, freedom, and self-sovereignty. So get out there, have a wonderful holiday, and get ready to spread the hope of a bright orange future.